I was watching this video. This guy was doing marriage counseling. He was a Christian dude, and the two people he was counseling, they were Christians as well. But he told them, give me a second. He told them, yo, like, he asked him a simple question. He was like, are you born again? And it was like, he was like, let me ask you something. Are you guys born again? And he was like, and they got offended. It was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been going to your church for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, however long. And he was like, going to church is not Christ likeness. You know what I mean? Being Christ like is Christ likeness. Being born again is Christ likeness. And, and he was like, right now in your relationship, there's nothing in you that remotely resembles Christ and stuff. Cause when he got into office, he asked them, so what's going on, guys? And then the husband's like, well, why don't you ask the wife? She's the mouth of the family. And then she's like, well, why don't you ask my husband? He seems to know everything, right? And so he was like, until you guys live for something other than yourself, I have no voice to help you. So you could go ahead and live in torment if you want to, and we could just end this meeting right now. You know what I mean? Because until you change the way you think, nobody could help you. And I was just like, wow, like, it's crazy. So yeah, man, like, I don't know, man. So many people say life is hard that we all believe that. That's because we have terrible mindsets that make it hard, the way we perceive people, the way we perceive problems. When it comes to obstacles getting in your way, when all you know how to see is the goal, you don't even see the obstacle. You just see something you have to leap over. That's all you see. You know what I mean? But you don't see it as a barrier to your success or a barrier to where you want to go. You just see it as, there's something in my way. And you don't take the obstacle personal because the goal is personal. The things that you want to accomplish is personal. You know what I mean? So life is hard when you take the wrong shit personal. You know what I mean? Like, you might wonder, yo, how come nobody stops at a red light? Or how come nobody, acts this way? Or why do people drive crazy and cut me off? You know, like, for every rule that's set in place, give me a second. For every rule that's set in place, there's always going to be a bunch of people that break it. You know what I mean? Like, for every rule, it doesn't matter what the rule is. For every give me a second. Every principle that you have, there's someone that disagrees with it. So there's things that I've just learned to, like, let go. You know what I mean? And there's things that we hold on to. We hold on to things. We hold each other to things. You know what I mean? Like, when someone takes 27 minutes longer to respond to a text message, you hold them to interrogating them as to what they were doing and how come they couldn't respond to you at a time quicker, because you're alive for your convenience. So anything that's an inconvenience to you, you're automatically annoyed. But it's your perception on the inconvenience. You know what I mean? It's your perception of trying to mandate that things are your way. And that's the most unhappy place in the world. Because in that place, you never learn how to be adaptable. You never learn how, there's nothing wrong with having a preference. But when you're alive for your preference, life is hell. You know what I mean? When you're alive for something bigger than you, like helping others, loving people, a lot of us don't want to love people because we can't see them for what they could be. We only see them for what they are at face value. You know what I mean? And we're just disgusted with them because we think, they might always be like that. So, yeah, man. So, anyways, with the right mindset, life is super easy. And I'm not saying that problems are always going to be there. No matter how much money you got, no matter how many good friends you got, no matter how, like, yo, something's always going to pop up, you know? But the problem is not the issue. The problem is your perception on the issue. It's always perception. Because if you don't perceive something as an issue, all of a sudden now it's not even an issue anymore because you don't see it as one. Then you won't feel the effects of it being one because in your mind it's not, because you're looking past the issue towards, like I said, where you're going. So, one of my favorite quotes, and I say this a lot, is, there's a reason why your windshield is significantly bigger than your rear view mirrors. You know what I mean? Because, um, give me a second. Your windshield is bigger than your rear view mirrors because where you're going matters so much more than where you've been. So, You gotta have a goal. Gotta have, you know why people get so consumed into the here and now and what's happening right now is because they might not have, most people, their goal is to get the next bill paid. That's fucking it. That's it. You know what I mean? They only know how to think as far as 2 weeks ahead, and have anxiety about anything within those 2 weeks because money, you know what I mean? Or whatever the hell else might be happening, or, child support, or ex baby mama drama and people stressing you out, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you don't have something that you look at that transcends beyond all of that stuff, then all of that becomes your barometer. All of that becomes what dictates the pace of your emotions. Now you're a product of all those things happening to you because of your perception on those things. Now, isn't it crazy that two people could go through the same thing, but yet one has a positive outlook and the other one doesn't? One gets consumed by the issue, wants to kill himself, probably ends up doing it, and the other one is like, like, there's gonna be better days. There's gonna, one time, like, my car got towed in the middle of a delivery, and I remember I was like, I'm gonna get my car back the next day. At the time, I didn't know how the hell I was gonna do that. I didn't have no money to do it myself. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't, but I just said it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get my car back the next. I didn't know that my sister had $200 I could borrow to get my shit back, because it was like a 185 bill, and then I paid her back. But that's all I said, and I left it alone. I said, I'm getting my fucking car tomorrow. Left it alone. You know what I'm saying? I've been sleeping in my car for like a week or so. But randomly the other day, I was like, you know what? God's gonna provide me a place to stay for fucking free for the rest of the year until I'm able to afford shit. 'Cause right now I don't got it like that, right? Yo, tell me how. I made a phone call, talked to a person, and she has like a whole complex, like a whole unit. Her first floor, second floor, and she doesn't pay rent. And so I know she's not gonna like charge me for that. She doesn't just pays a couple things here and there, like internet. I think it's just internet, actually. So, you know what I mean? And I guess they're going to renovate the place, and they want people to stay there because if people find out that it's abandoned, blah blah blah, like, it's a long story. But if people find out it's abandoned, like, the whoever owns that property, they're worried about random people breaking in and hanging out and turning it into their clubhouse or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, I just one day I said it, the next day it happens. You know what I mean? So I don't let this life worry me, man, because it's just like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, me worrying doesn't make you more capable of handling your situation. It makes you less fucking capable, because now you got your situation, and on top of that you're worrying. You know what I'm saying? Like, worrying is never a good thing. It never helps you or the person that you're worried about. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a boxer and you get punched really bad, the worst thing you could do is fucking worry. You know what I mean? Because then all of your calculated moves is based off fear. And the chances of you getting knocked out in that fight increase because you're worried about one hit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to recover, or seeing, or, you know what I mean? Or finding a new strategy, So, yeah, worry will destroy you in everything, in sports, in communication. Like, some people worry so much that all they do is call people, like, you know what I'm saying, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Oh, what you doing? Where you at? What, like, you know what I mean? There's people that are tormented by their past. They've been cheated on so many times or whatever, and they swear that every new relationship that they get into is going to be the same. You know what I mean? And their past has bondage over them. You know what I mean? Because all they know how to do is project that past onto other people, as if everybody's the same. I'm sure they know that everybody's different, or a lot of people are different. But when pain is all you know, and it's all you know because it's all you repeat to yourself, sometimes all we do is repeat the offenses that happened in the past, and how annoying somebody was, and how something should have stopped but it continued for like years or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So, and it's like, I don't know, that's why I'm so passionate about just loving people where they're at, like, instead of trying to be disgusted for what they're not. Because me being disgusted with people has never made me have a good day. Destroys my day, you know what I'm saying? And it was times when it destroyed other people's day, because if I viewed somebody like shit, the next step is treating them like that. You know what I mean? And humans are reciprocal. The same energy I give you might just be the same energy you give me. So if I start treating someone like shit, the chances of them doing it back to me increase, and now we both have a ruined day because I can't see past what I'm disgusted by. I only see you for face value, and it destroys your day. if I take it personally enough to have an attitude with you and talk to you about, like, tell you how disgusted I am with you, it'll ruin your day for me to come at you like that. It'll ruin my day because that's not a good use of my time. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the other productive things, or, you know what I mean? Like working on goals and working on doing things that I could be doing, it gets wasted being disgusted by people that fucking probably don't give a damn about my opinion or how I think they should change or what, you know what I mean? Like, yo, the people you complain about, you think they give a damn about your complaints? People are going to wake up in the morning and do what they feel like doing. You know what I mean? And for as long as you have an issue with people using their free will according to how they prefer to use it, you're going to be a man or a woman full of issues all the time, because people are not here to meet your needs. People are not here to meet your criteria. Like, people are always crying about no one's loyal anymore. No one has integrity. No one has what you call it? No one's kind anymore. No one's this anymore. Oh, what's up, Delante? How you doing, bro? So yeah, man, it's just, life is a numbers game. It's going to be a percentage of people that have integrity, even bigger percentage of people that don't, that are not loyal, they act like they're for you and backstab you, but you're not here to get everybody's loyalty. You know what I mean? You're not here for a bunch of people to be loyal to you. You're here to fucking fulfill a mission, a goal. Like, you're not, you know what I'm saying? You're here for something specific. I don't know what the hell that is, because, we all got different talents, gifts, and abilities. But, when you make this life for something that it's not for, you know what I mean? You'll focus all your energy on something that has nothing to do with what your purpose is, and probably never discover your purpose and then die not knowing it, because you spent your whole life worrying about, why are people spreading rumors? Why do people don't like me? How come everyone cheats on me? Why this? Why that? Because people are broken, yo. This is a broken world. You know what I mean? And in a broken world is going to be broken people. You wonder why policies are broken? Because the people that create policies are broken. You expect broken people to make a fixed policy? You know what I mean? Like, you expect broken people to create a fixed government that works and it's not corrupt? Like, corrupt people create corrupt things. Messed up people create, things that are messed up. Like, there's a lot of things going on, but it's based on how people think. You know what I mean? That's what they reproduce. When we think about reproduction, we think about having sex, having kids, and that's it. It's like, no, you're going to reproduce something, even if you die with no kids. If your parents were a bunch of anxiety driven, fearful people, and they were your only influences, there's a good chance you're going to be a product of what your parents were. And now what you're reproducing is anxiety, fear, like, you know what I mean? And then every time you have a friend that wants to go on a business endeavor or be an entrepreneur, all you know how to do is project fear. You know what I mean? All the bad stuff that you heard about entrepreneurism, or all the bad stuff you heard about starting your own business. Now all that fear, it gets projected into your advice that you give a friend when you tell them not to do something. It's based on how you would be fearful if you were starting your own business. It's based on how, your parents never believed in businesses. Your parents only believed in working for another man. So now it's the same thing that you project. Yo, you're gonna reproduce something. You know what I mean? You're gonna spread something into this world, and this world is either gonna be better because you were born into it, or worse because you were born into it. You know what I mean? And there's people that are consciously making the world better, or at least trying, and there's people that are consciously doing everything within their power to make this shit worse because they've been overcome by life. You know what I mean? And they have so much resentment that they just want to kill shit, man. Like, that's like some of these school shooters and these massacres that be happening. These are people that don't know how to deal with the resentment, that feel like, fuck it, I'm gonna just kill random people. You know what I mean? Like, and I know to a lot of us that makes no sense, because it's like, like, at least why not target the one person that bullied you, or the one person that, but it's like, nah, they kill a whole bunch of random people in the school. But it's because they take shit personal, because when you was in class and a couple kids teased you and other kids tagged in, you know what I mean? Like, all you know how to do is get mad and feel like think about how it shouldn't have happened and how now they deserve punishment, or you want to punch them, or you want to hit them, and you know what I mean? And we call it type this and personality that and bipolar this, and like, you know what I mean? And it's like, nah, yo, what's wrong? Like, we don't like our perception on things. You know what I mean? Like, when someone tells you about yourself, right? When someone asks you a question like, yo, dude, why you always angry, or why you always, you know what I mean? And if your first instinct is to want to fight, bro, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? And I saw a video the other day. The guy was like, yo, there's a correlation between people with poor vocabulary, right? And people that are more prone to violence. So people with very limited vocabulary that can't express themselves, because one of the most powerful things in this world that you could ever master is communication. You know what I mean? And so many of us lacked in that department. And if you lack in communication, everything lacks. Your relationships lack. You know what I mean? Like your partnerships, your everything, man. Because who do you think's gonna be able to get a raise for their job? Somebody who could properly communicate why they deserve a raise, or someone who's just too fucking shy and thinks that their boss should notice them? There's people that get mad. They're like, yo, all this hard work I do and no one's noticing me. No one's giving me a raise. It's like, yo, did you ask for a raise? Yo, I was talking to somebody the other day, right? Two things, right? I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, isn't it crazy that in the Bible it says, ask anything in my name and you will receive? You might think, yo, you're God. Why the hell do I have to ask you for anything? You know exactly what I need. Like, why do I even have to why you can't just give it to me? So here's the thing with God, if with him and if he knows everything and you still got to ask him for what you need, with people is even more, you know what I mean? Because people are not mind readers. There's people that will struggle and get mad at their family members for not noticing or not just giving out assistance or not, you know what I mean? And you don't understand from their perspective. They might look at you like, yo, I didn't know that it was that bad, or I thought maybe you was gonna bounce back, or you got it. Like, you know what I mean? I've been in situations where I see people carrying shit, but it doesn't look like they're struggling. So if you don't look like you're struggling, like, of course, if you're breaking your back to carry it, you look like you're falling over. I'm be like, yo, you good? Let me help you. But if I think that you're capable of carrying it by yourself, I'm gonna let you carry it, and I know a lot of people that had a problem with that because they're like, oh, you're inconsiderate, you're not, and they'll get offended because of their perception of what they think I'm doing. They think that I'm just ignoring them. They think that I'm just letting them carry a huge load, and I don't give a fuck how much it weighs because I'm not interested in any ways of helping. And because of what their perception is on my response, they get angry because they perceive it in a way that it's not. It's like, bro, I'm on my phone, like I'm on YouTube. I'm not looking at what you're doing. Yeah, from my peripherals, like I noticed you was lifting some shit. But if you think that I'm like, you know what I mean? If you think that like I'm always looking for, yo, who's lifting something that I could help, like my mind isn't on that shit all the time. And people are so proud to ask, like, yo, just say, and they'll get mad that they had to ask you. Like, damn, it's crazy that I had to ask you. You see me lifting this stuff and you ain't even offer assistance. Well, motherfucker, did you ask? Like, did you ask that you need help? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are people so proud to ask? Everyone thinks that the shit should just be given to them. That's why I talk about entitlement so much, thinking that someone owes you something. Like, so yeah, like if I'm about to lift something heavy, before I even pick it up, if I see someone around that could help, I'm gonna ask them like, yo, can you help me with this? So I don't have to carry it on my back, hoping that they notice me and then getting mad at them for my fucking lack of communication, because that's not their issue. That's my issue that I'm too proud to ask for assistance. That's my issue that I don't know how to carry something and be like, yo, can you help me? You know what I mean? And then because of our lack of communication, we get mad at other people. That's where, you know what I mean? Like, and a lot of our anger just comes from failed expectations, like my brother, he's always angry, you know what I mean? And it's always because something is failing his expectations, like he has an expectation for how he thinks people should believe. I mean, how people should proceed through life, how they should act, what type of opportunities they should look for. I spoke to him the other day. He was like, yo, when it comes to your dreams, your goals, you always want to do some hard shit. I'm passionate about hard shit, man. Like, because that's what I want to do. Like, he was like, yo, I told him for the first time, I was like, yo, I want to be a motivational speaker. And he was like, man, you can't even motivate yourself though. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff you got to get done. Like, and I'm like, yo, y'all want to hear something crazy? The other day, yo, someone asked me to mentor them. I was like, what? Like, that was so humbling. It's like, who the fuck am I to mentor you? But I guess someone thought I was that cool or worthy of their time to ask me that question. It was very like flattering, man. And I appreciate that. But I was like, I don't have mentoring courses. I'm not selling this shit. I'm just putting it out for free. Like, if it blesses you, praise God. But, I'm never going to put a fucking $59.99 like fucking price tag on it and sell it. Although I could make a killing, like, of course, as a motivational speaker, like, I don't want to go everywhere and fucking speak for free all the time and have nothing because of it. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, when it comes to talent, like, why do it for free? You know what I mean? Like, if you could get paid, and there's a lot of people that they scoff at that. They be like, yo, you should humble yourself and do it for free. It's like you should humble yourself and do it for free. I want you to clock in and out of your job and tell your boss you're okay with going home with nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing about talent musicians or people that write songs about God or artists or, it's like they want you to be a starving artist or they want you to be it's like, yo, what's wrong with wanting a little compensation? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and people, because people hear you want compensation, they think that you want to get rich off of your talents. And it's like, you don't know my heart, dude. You don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't know that, like, I just need enough, to get by. That's it. Like, I don't need like a lot. And even, but, for me anyways, the only reason I want $1 million or a couple million, because I know I'm capable of making it. And because I know how many other people benefit from me having a lot of money. So many other people benefit. When I start winning, other people win. So if it was for me, if I didn't give a fuck about people, I'm good with $30,000 a year, 35,000, whatever, or even lower than that, man. I don't need much. But for the sake of others, fuck, man, let me make as much as I can. Why? Because other people need money. But there's something weird about saying, I want to be a millionaire, that people think you're egotistical, you're prideful, you want to get an empty swimming pool, fill it with money and swim through it. And it's like, you have no idea what my intention is. You know what I mean? But people project probably what their intentions would be if they had money, or their fears or their insecurities onto you, and make it seem like that would be you if, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we're different people. We don't even think alike. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I always say life is amazing when you have a positive attitude. I just paid $600 in tickets and then got two more tickets. You know what I mean? Got two minor car accidents yesterday. When I was on the highway, like somebody swiped me on the side slightly. It wasn't much damage, but every day I almost get in an accident. Every day. You know what I'm saying? And none of this shit has the power to stress me out because, like, I'm going somewhere, and where I'm going matters so much more than where I'm at or where I've been. So that's the only thing that I've fucking trained my mind to think on. That's why I'll never get depressed ever again. I'll never, and some people think that's too much of a bold statement. It's like, how can you say you'll never be depressed ever again, or you'll never be offended ever? Or, you know what I'm saying? I know where offense comes from. Offense comes from being disgusted at a situation and wishing that it would change. And it comes from selfishness, to be honest. Being offended. You know what I mean? It's all about you when you're offended. It's all about how your standard of living has been violated by other people that don't give a damn about your standard, that live according to their standard. You know what I'm saying? People are different. People think differently. Give me a second. So, you know what I mean? There's something about, people who don't respect other people's free will. Those people are always frustrated. If you think people are going to use their free will in a way that's convenient to you, you're dead wrong. Because people do what they want, you know what I'm saying? And are the decisions that they make, does it always make sense? Nah, it doesn't always. But who said that other people are obligated to make sense to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of you are obligated to make sense to me. If you're doing some questionable shit, that's like, yo, why are you doing that? Like, you don't even owe me an explanation. I might not even ask you, like, but I mean, we could have a conversation about it, but I'm not going to interrogate you. I'm gonna just understand that maybe you have a vision. You see some shit that I don't. You know what I mean? People that have faith are always gonna argue with doubters. You know what I mean? Well, not always, but what I'm saying is, like, if you have faith in something big, you can't expect someone that knows how to do nothing besides doubt to see your vision. They're incapable of seeing it because they have so many scales on their eyes that your plans for your future just looks retarded to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said recently, like, when my car got towed in the middle of a delivery, I said, I'm getting my vehicle the next fucking day. And it happened, And then recently, within the last week, I was like, I'm going to have a place to live for free for the rest of the year, or for at least as long until I have some money to do the things that I got to do. Yo, I got a place to stay for free in Brooklyn. Like, a friend hit me up. You know what I mean? Well, I hit her up. I was talking and stuff. She was like, yo, you can stay here. She doesn't even pay rent. So, I don't got to pay rent. Like I said earlier, she's not going to charge me for that. So I don't know, man. That's why, like, when I have to sleep in my car, or when I have to I know that I'll be okay. You know what I mean? And it seems like God is just rewarding me for just having faith and knowing that I'm not scared. I'm not too proud to go through bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not too proud to go through. It's not beneath me to sleep in a car. You know what I'm saying? I don't have too much ego that I can't do that right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't have too much ego that I can't go live with 10 roommates that are maybe not that pleasant to be around, but for the sake of a bigger goal or a bigger vision that we all have together. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people would try to shit on you if you try to live with 10 people in a 2-bedroom apartment? They'd be like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, because of inconvenience. I'm not here to be convenienced by other people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, and people will see the negative of that. Like, yo, 10 people, 2 bedroom apartment. You don't see all the positive. You know how cheap rent is when it's split 10 fucking ways? It becomes incredibly cheap. And with that, you could save all your money and and then money's not an issue anymore, right? And then you could save and then you could invest and then you could fucking build your dream. Like, you know, and then that's what immigrants used to do, man. That's why they came here and they fucking, you know, they used to run America. I mean, a lot of them still do. Like, they would come here with fucking 14 people in a 1 bedroom apartment, and 10 years later, all of them are independent business owners. All of them, because they wasn't too proud to, you know, to live cooped up in a 1 bedroom apartment. You know, they wasn't too they didn't let society, because you know what society will say about shit like that? Why don't you get your own shit? Why are you living with other people? Why are you doing this? Why are you, you know? And what society doesn't realize is the time that they take to say that to you is the time that they're taking away from themselves, that they could figure out their own shit. It's like, bro, you don't even have your own shit figured out. Why are you so curious about what I got going on or my methods or why I do stuff a certain way? You know what I mean? It's because, you know, like, either maybe life is beating their goals out of them a long time ago, or their dreams. So now all they know how to do is make time to beat down other people's dreams or interrogate everybody else. And, you know, so people will always give you advice according to them. You know what I mean? You know, broken people give broken advice. Messed up people give messed up advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody in the medical field will advise you to be in the medical field. Any fucking taxi driver will advise you to be a taxi driver. Every fucking lawyer would advise you to be a lawyer. And you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and people don't even have the decency to ask, well, what are you good at? You know, maybe you could find a way to monetize that. Like, I mean, I'm a lawyer because I'm good at this, but maybe you're good at something completely different, you know? So they don't have the decency to ask that, nor do I expect people to have the decency, you know what I'm saying? Because life is a numbers game. Percentage of people are going to be decent. Some are not. Some are considerate. Some are not. Some only know how to impose their advice. And some people are way smarter than that. And they'll find out what you're good at and then think of some jobs that are suitable for you instead of getting their ego stroked by them being a doctor and now you become one. Because you know how many people their ego gets stroked because they're doing something and they feel so uplifted. That's the only time they're excited about life, is when other people listen to them, because no one listens to them and they have zero control over their own life. And that's why the only time they feel like they have any control is when they give advice and you listen. So if you wonder why people impose their shit all the time, you know, I notice the people with the most advice to give, they have their life the least under control, the least, you know what I mean? And they have all the time in the world to give you advice, you know what I'm saying? And then if they took their own, they'd be so much further, you know? And it's just the shit that they make time for. That's why, like, that's not something that has no place in my calendar. That has no place in my day, you know what I mean? Cause like, I got stuff I gotta do, man. Like, I can't, you know, as motivational as I try to be, you know, I remember I was listening to Gary Vee and people was like, yo, you could turn this into a mastery course. Like, why do you put out your good shit for free? People would pay to hear about marketing, about this, about that. And he said, yo, when you have a message that you want to give to the world and you want to get it out to as many people before you die, he said, you tend to do it for free because money is a barrier to your bullshit course being bought by people. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to buy $1,000 mastery course. Well, not no one, but what I'm saying is, you put a price tag on your knowledge. The higher the price tag, the more of the bigger the barrier to entry. You know what I'm saying? Imagine someone got a mastery course, or imagine every podcast you ever heard me do, someone was pushing the same material, except if you want access to it, it's $2,000. You know what I mean? For some audio clips or whatever. And it's like, bro, like, yeah, some people will buy it, 5% of people, you know, but when your goal is to get your message out to as many people before you die, he was like, yo, you tend not to price it. And he said, another reason I put out my shit for free was because 99% of you are going to do nothing with it anyways. You know what I mean? Because other people were worried about that. He was like, yo, you're empowering too many people. You're going to make the market oversaturated. And it's like, nah, like, there's a bunch of people that have been sitting on a plan or an idea for 27 years and did nothing with it. And every couple weeks they hear something that could, you know, help them push their idea forward or manifest their dreams. And, you know, so I don't know, man. I believe, you know, I believe we get like 3 to 4 thoughts a year, 5 maybe, I don't know, that if you acted on them, damn, life would be so much more better than what it is, you know. But it's always doubt that holds us back. It's always, you know what I mean? What if this happens? And what if bad shit happens, adapt. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if bad shit happens, move around. Like, you're not a tree. You're not planted in the ground, incapable of going anywhere. Like, you're a fucking human. You got legs. You know, you could adapt. But if you don't believe in your ability to adapt, that's where the fucking doubt comes from, because you don't believe you're an adaptable person. You believe when circumstance becomes something that you didn't expect, you're going to be crushed by it. And that's why some of us are so paralyzed, we don't even make a fucking move, because we're like, man, if this happens, I'm done. If this happens, I'm through for real. And it's like, and you know what's the saddest part? A lot of these people really believe in God, and they really read their Bibles like that all the time. If you're a broken person and you read your Bible every day, I do not understand, because the Bible is powerful. I don't know how you're reading it or what your interpretation of it is, but there's no reason to read such a powerful book and be a weak ass person on a daily after reading that book. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I don't know if people are pushing a misinterpretation of the word onto you, like, I don't know. People do got some weird perceptions. Like, there's scriptures in the Bible that says, be holy for your Father in heaven is holy. There's other people that say, oh, it's impossible to be holy. It's impossible to be righteous. It's impossible to whatever. But it's like God would never call you to something and tell you to do something if he wasn't going to equip you to be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, some people think that I met a girl who thinks that Jesus sets the bar so high and he knows we're not going to reach it, but he rewards us for trying. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, what a crazy ass God we would serve if he was like, yo, I'm going to set the bar so high and I'm going to laugh at your inability to reach it. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think God plays games like that with people. If he sets a bar, it's because you're capable of reaching it, and he's going to equip you and he's going to teach you what you need to do to get there. You know what I mean? So all the shit that I had to go through this last month, 2 months, I talk about it, not because I'm complaining about it. I talk about it because these circumstances have no power to decide my mood. I'm happy as hell to fucking sleep in my car. When I wake up in the morning, I'm thankful for life. I'm not dreading this. I'm not like, man, this is going on and this is imposing on me, because I'm not alive for my set of preferences to be met. I'm alive to fulfill a fucking purpose before I die. That's it. You know what I mean? And with that mindset, it's impossible to even get discouraged, because I don't even have time to think about stuff that, first of all, if I'm discouraged, who is my focus on? My focus is on me, how you're being upsetting and you're annoying me and you're an inconvenience to me. And all I know how to do is think about how you are disrupting my day, instead of thinking about you and what the hell is making you act so crazy. Maybe you're going through something. You don't need me to be offended. You need me to have a conversation with you. You need me to look past what normal people would be disgusted at and fucking talk to you like you matter, because you do. To the person that created you, to your family, to your community. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has value, So, and that's why, I used to say a lot, man, this person's a piece of shit. That person's a piece of shit. And I realized, I gotta be careful the metaphors that I use to describe people, because Hitler used to refer to the people he exterminated as fucking rodents, roaches, rats. Like, what do you do with roaches and rats? You exterminate them. You know what I mean? Like, those were the metaphors he used to describe those people. Well, then no wonder he was so disgusted by them. No wonder he had so much hate towards them. No wonder, because you don't respect a rat the way you respect a human. You don't respect a roach the way you respect a human. Like, as soon as we see roaches, we try to exterminate them, fucking spray them, step on them. You know what I mean? So when you if you view people like that, you're going to treat people like that, and your life is never going to be good. You know what I mean? Because when people start giving you the same energy you're giving them, you know what I mean? Like, and they're like people, for example, there's people that always trying to convert, like, whether it's network marketers, entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, no one wants your business opportunity, but they can't hear someone saying no. Like, they get so frustrated. They're like, why would you not join his business? I mean, it's free. Yo, I had a person get mad at me because I didn't want to join his business. His business was free to join, I didn't like his like character, like, I'm the type of person, like, I do love all people, but when it comes to business endeavors, I'm not doing business with you if I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't like if there's something that, I know that it's going to be a huge issue, or it's going to be like, yo, if we're not like-minded, we can't even walk together. It doesn't mean we can't have conversations. Doesn't mean I can't call you, check upon you, see if you're good, but in terms of partnerships, nah, that's reduced for specific people. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus loved everybody. He only had 12 disciples though. You know what I mean? Like, that was reserved for a select few. One of them betrayed him, so I don't know, like, that's a little more personal. The whole partnership, the whole setting out on a journey together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I read this quote that, like, it's better to live in a trash can with a bunch of people you love than inside of a mansion with a bunch of people you hate, And there's a scripture in Proverbs that was similar to that. It was like, better a small morsel of food with quiet than a big portion of food with stress or something like that. I forgot. I'm paraphrasing somewhere in Proverbs. But yeah, man. So another thing I want to talk about is random. It just came into my mind, but some of us, we try to shower other people with gifts. You try to buy people shit and you wonder why they still don't like you. You buying people shit doesn't make them like you. Yeah, it's nice that you're buying them food all the time. It's nice that you're being so convenient towards them, but you can't purchase someone's respect. You can't purchase someone's love. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to say this scenario a lot. It's been a minute, but there's a lot of fathers that the only time they come around is to give their daughter like thousands of dollars or a lot of money, buy her some Jordans, right? And they think there's fathers that legitimately think that buying your daughter a whole bunch of pair of Jordans, that it makes up for your absence, that it makes up for you being a shitty father, that it makes up for, and it's like, yo, sure, yeah, maybe some girls will be like all excited about that, but there's a lot of daughters that be like, fuck all this shit. I want a father, you know what I'm saying? I don't want a pair of Jordans. I want you to get along with my mom. I want y'all to love each other. I want to have a functional fucking family. Like, you know what I mean? But there's people that buy their kids a bunch of Jordans thinking that that is going to compensate, you know what I'm saying? Or make up for whatever was lacking. And it's like, yo, it doesn't, I used to have somebody try to buy me a bunch of shit, but this person had very disgusting like qualities and, and stuff like that. And that like, none of the stuff that he bought me or none of the nice things he did made up for how much I didn't like him at the time. None of it made up for that, I even told him, I was like, yo, when you try to buy me this shit, you try to do that. If you think it makes me respect you more than I do, it doesn't, bro. Like, so don't try to like, you know what I mean? And then there's people that will buy you shit and then be like, oh, now you owe me now. And it's like, it's like, yo, fuck that. Like, so that's why for me, like if I'm gonna give somebody something, I have no expectations tied to it, Here's another thing that I talk about on a lot of podcasts. There's so many people. If you gave your friend $1,000 and he turns it into $1 million business, you would feel entitled as if you own 50% of the business now, or you owe 100% of the business because technically it's your business because it was your money that was invested. As if you're so significant for having $1,000 because a winner is always going to be a winner. That same person that took 1,000 and turned it into $1 million, he didn't have to take it from you. He could have took it from your neighbor, or he could have went down the block, or he could have, like you feel so significant for helping somebody and then now feel so entitled to receive something that you feel you deserve. And people that do that are always going to be disappointed because when the people you feel a sense of entitlement and you feel like you're owed something now, all it takes is for them not to agree with how you're owed something. And now your life is a mess. You can't like, now you're so disturbed by them. You're so bothered. It's like the nerve of people. You do this for them. They take this and you know what I mean? They don't even consider you. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if only you knew, bro, you're not here for consideration. You're not here for people to want eye for an eye. Fucking everything you do, they do back for you. You're not here. You're here to do something like, like you're here to fulfill a purpose. And when so like I was saying, like if we never find out what that purpose is, then we just make up our own purpose and we make up our own rules and criteria that we're going to get offended if they're violated by other people, or we're going to get mad if other people don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's like whatever rule you could think of, there's always somebody on the other side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you might think it's good to have respect, morals and principles. And some people don't give a damn about that. They don't see the benefits of that. Because they've been molded by the world. And then now you spend all your time getting offended about them and blogging about them for 2 hours. And now you're being molded by them. You know what I mean? And everything is now you're influenced by what they fail to see or what they fail to become. And now you're a product of their failure and you're only as strong as they're weak. You know what I mean? Like, so like all these things that I used to think I need, like I needed someone to say I love you, or I needed someone to hit me up or be compassionate it's like I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not that I don't need people, like we all need people, but here's what I don't need you for. I don't need you to know who I am. Like, cause there's people that like, if someone questions your integrity or they question your intention, you'll be like, yo, I've known you for 10 years. I know you for 15 years. You'll be so hurt that someone thought something about your character, that they thought something was messed up about you or evil, or you had some weird intentions in regards to the favors that you wanted to do or whatever, and it's like, you'll feel so hurt, like, man, I thought we were cool. I thought that, and it's like, yo, it's not personal, man. Like, Maybe you said something that slightly reminded them of 50 other people that said that to them and had that type of intention, and you instantly got categorized as being one of those people, and you don't know what's going through people's head when they assess your character or when they think, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. Anyways, give me a second. What's up, John? What's going on, bro? So, yeah, man. So yeah, like life is a blessing, you know. But if you don't perceive it that way, it's because you could only see it for how messed up it is, or how messed up people are, or how messed up circumstances, and how you wish your preferences were met. You know, like it's the only reason I could really think of that. You know, like every time we're sad, every time we're angry, every time we have a negative emotion, some standard that we have is being violated. You know, like people are not treating you the way you think that you need to be treated. You know, people are not, you know, being nice enough to you or being considerate enough to you, whatever it is, you know. So, but anyways, yeah, man, got it. This because there's a lot of ways to look at life. There's not many optimal ways to look at it. There's not many correct ways of looking at life. There's a whole bunch of incorrect ways, and that's why we suffer, because of our perception, you know, of life, you know. So it's crazy how two people could get an unexpected bill in the mail, you know what I mean, for $2,000, and both of them make the same amount of money, and they both went to the same school. They won't both grew up in the same community, but yet one doesn't perceive it as an issue, and the other one's falling apart, calling a neighbor and asking for prayer. You know what I mean? Because they're like, man, $2,000. Because we give so much honor to the price. You know what I mean? That's why, like, this is something that I practice. I haven't been saying it much until recently. I always put the word just in front of money. You know, some people say it's not good to do that, but I'll be like, it's just $2,000. It's just $10,000. It's just $1 million. When I'm doing that, it diminishes the bigness of it. It doesn't seem big to me anymore, because when I perceive $20,000 like it's a big ass fucking mountain, like my temptation to want to climb that mountain decreases, because all I'm thinking about is how hard it's going to be to get that money, and how difficult this is going to be, and how, you know, it being hard, you know how many people that stops, because people want to know I remember one person hit me up. He was like, yo, when it comes to this network marketing, entrepreneur stuff online, is it easy? And his first question he asked me, I was like, this guy's going to be broke all his life for as long as he asks that question. It's not about, is it easy, bro? Like, you know, like, it's not about, is it easy to go to heaven when you die? Do you want to go to heaven? You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, when you find out that that's what you want, it doesn't matter how hard it is, because that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like when you really want something, you know, and anyone who really wants $1 million or a couple $1 million, they won't ask how hard is it to get it, because then you're gonna level it out, and you're gonna gauge the hardness of it, the difficulty of it, and use that as an excuse as to why you shouldn't even try, because it's too much work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't ask, is it hard? Ask, is it possible? You know, is there one human that's done it before? You only need one example. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people, and then there's people that we'll see entrepreneurs make thousands after thousands after thousands of dollars weekly, on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? And we'll still have doubt, or we'll still have whatever. And then there's other people in the world that all they need is one example. You know what I mean? There's even other people in the world that they don't even need to see an example of something being possible for them. They just believe that it's possible for them, even though they haven't seen it in the world. And then they go reproduce that shit. They go manifest it just out of their faith, because they was like, yo, you know what? I think this is possible. For me, it only took one person. Like, it took one 22-year-old that was like, oh, I'm making $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, for me to get curious and for me to believe, man, that's possible for me. All it takes is for you to be doing it, for me to believe that I could do it. And that's it. You know what I mean? But there's been some things where I haven't seen before, and I'm like, you know what? I think I could do it, you know? Not because I've seen it, but just because I believe it, you know? Because if you believe it, you do see it, you know? Like, people say I got to see it to believe it, which means that, you know, there's a chance even after you see it, you might still not believe it, you know? But if you believe it, you already see it. It's already in your conscious. It's already, you know what I'm saying? Now you can start developing a plan towards creating it, you know? So, yeah, man, people are not always going to behave the way you think they should, you know? They're not always going to return your text. They're not always going to be considerate. They're not always going to return your phone calls. There's going to be people that they don't hit you up when it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or your birthday or Valentine's Day or any of that shit. But as soon as they got a flat tire, they hit you up. And those are the only times they contact you. Don't get, a percentage of people are going to behave that way. Just accept it. You know what I'm saying? And they might fall into the category of people that are just that way. And they might, there's people that die that way. They're going to go to their grave being that type of person. Not everybody. Some people are going to change. There's some people that's going to use and abuse you for everything you're worth and only come around when they need something, and then there's those same people, they might not even be nothing like that. They might do a whole 360, a 180, I mean, like a year later, 2 years later, now all they know how to do is be a giving person instead of a leech, you know what I mean? A sponge, so I don't know. I've just accepted that life is a numbers game. So for every attitude that I think someone shouldn't have, guess what? There's going to be someone that has it and doesn't give a fuck that I don't think they should have it, because people do what they want. And, it's not my job to get so mad at them for them behaving a certain way, because everyone's possessed by some form of indoctrination, some form of thinking, some form of thought process that was given to them either by their broken ass parents or relatives, family members and friends, society, their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, most people are a product of what they've gone through, and they don't change until later, and some people never change, I saw this one quote. It was like, some people are like trees. They take forever to grow up. And I thought that was funny. But yeah, man, like, so I don't know, man. It's just all that energy wasted being disgusted by people that could give a damn what you think about their life. You know what I mean? That could be that same energy that could be reinvested into figuring out, why are you even alive? If you don't know why you're here, it's such a waste of time to criticize what people are doing with their time when you don't even know what you should be doing with your time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have so much time for animosity, for hatred, for just all these things that ultimately, if we had 10 minutes left to live, wouldn't even matter. If you were conscious that you had 10 minutes to live, all of a sudden you don't have time to be bitter anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the way I live my life is, if I have 100 years to live, whatever wouldn't matter in my last 10 minutes shouldn't matter in my next 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it could be my last 10 minutes right now, from the time I finish the sentence to 10 minutes later. Shit, I could have a massive heart attack out of nowhere and just fucking die at 29. Like, it could happen, like, and it's like, I don't want, so I don't know when that time's going to be. I just know that I don't want to, I wouldn't want those last 10 minutes to be spent getting mad at people, self-righteously judging people and cutting them off according to where I'm disgusted by them, and only being capable of seeing them for how shitty they are. You know what I'm saying? Which does nothing for me, does nothing for my day, doesn't improve the quality of my day. It destroys the quality of my day, and probably the quality of their day too. Like I said, if I start speaking to them the way that I see them. And it's inevitable for you to speak to people exactly the way that you see them, because the way you see them is the way you treat them. So if you view people like shit, no wonder you treat them like that, because it's impossible to be respectful towards what you consider to be a piece of shit. Like, how are you ever going to be respectful towards that? You don't even consider that person a human being. You think they're a piece of shit. Like, so if you think you're going to respect a turd, you're not, until your perception of them changes. And when you actually love the people that you're disgusted by, your life is amazing. And all of a sudden, they don't have the power to destroy your day and mess your day up anymore, because you don't wake up thinking that they should have your criteria in mind, or thinking that they should be what you want them to be. It's not about you anymore. Selfishness, that's the place where life is miserable. That's why we kill ourselves. That's why we're suicidal. That's why we're depressed. Because all we could think about is circumstance and how it's imposing on us, and how we wish things were different, and how life sucks, and taking life personally instead of taking our relationship with God personally. Because when you take your relationship with God personally, all of a sudden you don't take people personally anymore. You don't even know how to get offended anymore. You don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, so anyways, so I'm gonna leave it on that note. And, I hope I said something edifying that was worth your time listening to. Love you guys very much. And yeah, man, see you on the next one.